Good evening, culture lovers, oi oi, and welcome to Bushell On The Box, the show that does for lousy TV what Ollie Pope did to Indian bowlers and what French farmers have done to motorways around Paris. I'm Garry Bushell, and tonight we're going to collar some bad plod. In fairness, there are a lot of decent cops out there doing good work under difficult circumstances, but as Channel 4's To Catch a Copper showed, there are an awful lot of bad ones too. In jaw-dropping scenes caught on their own police body cams, we saw dodgy cops treat normal everyday people appallingly. One poor suicidal woman with mental health issues had gone to Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol to sling herself into the River Avon. What she needed was calmness, compassion and counselling. What she got was the absolute opposite. Nicked for causing public disorder, she was slung into the back of a police car, parvered, that is, given a face full of synthetic pepper spray, put in a spit mask and called a skanky bitch. She needed help. She needed kindness. She got contempt. The counter-corruption unit set up by Avon and Somerset Constabulary were horrified. "I'm ashamed," said one investigator as he watched the recording. "It's the worst misconduct I think I've ever seen. They dehumanise her." But it got worse. Two other officers went to stop a female patient in a wheelchair trying to flee a hospital. The woman was clearly troubled, but the cops took the piss out of her. They mimicked her and they laughed when she wet herself, calling her a fucking bitch. There's empathy for you. These cops were banked to rights, but they got away with it, either by quitting the force or submitting to a cosy chat with their sergeant. It's a real life line of duty where only the victims get banged up. Episode 1 also covered Sergeant Lee Cocking in Weston-super-Mare, who volunteered to drive a drunk woman home, pulled into an unlit lay-by where she said he had sex with her. Cocking by name. Now, he admitted having sex, but said that the woman, who was as drunk as 1,000 sailors, had forced herself on him, claiming he had been too weakened by post-traumatic stress disorder to stop her. A police investigator called this defence farcical, but the jury believed him, and the charge of misconduct in public office was slung out. A police misconduct hearing agreed with the court verdict, so he retired on a full pension. How rotten does a rotten apple have to be before it gets kicked out the barrel? You know what winds me up? TV cooking shows. Why are we watching them? We can't eat the food, we can't smell it, we can't taste it. Worse, we can't even cook the recipes at home. You don't find ingredients like pomegranate molasses, bonito flakes and mustard speckled duck penis down your local co-op. Richard Bainbridge on ITV's Saturday Kitchen made grilled aubergine with miso. Well, you must have some of that left in the back of your fridge. Vinaigrette and pickled plums. He then mentioned fig leaves, saying if you were out and about, you could probably pick one from a tree. Oh yeah, perhaps in the famous fig forest of Oldham, not far from Salford's select She's So Spinny. I preferred Keith Floyd's cooking shows where the only pickled plum was the chef. There's a new witch in town, Domino Day, who likes to get a cocky man back to his place and suck the soul right out of his body. Domino does this instantly, as opposed to the more traditional, slower method of marrying him. Yeah. Now the BBC called terrorists militants and freedom fighters, how long will it be before the criminal classes push their agendas too? They're not crooks. They are radical wealth redistribution operatives. They're not murderers. They're just heaven's recruiting agent. And Wolfie Smith, he ain't a tooting revolutionary. He's a BBC News editor. Trigger Point, ITV's 6-part series about a bomb disposal unit, is Danger UXB, but without the realistic plots and the depth of character. A serious drama, Trigger Point totally bombs, but it works much better as comedy. Seriously, throw in a laugh track and it all makes sense. In Series 1, faced with a time bomb packed with nails, our moody heroine, Lana Washington, whipped off her helmet and protective goggles to defuse it. Eh? It was about as likely as seeing Kim Kardashian on an EasyJet flight, or Davina McCall not flashing her drawers. This series is just as bonkers. 1 minute Lana is out defusing a bomb in a full protective suit. Half an hour later, she's tackling another one without any protective clothing whatsoever. Next week she'll win a bikini with pliers in one hand and a porn star martini in the other. People say it works if you suspend belief. Yeah. But it works better if you imagine it's a lost episode of the Keystone Cops. Bomb disposal units are comprised of calm, smart, level-headed operatives, not these short-fused nitwits. And naturally the bad guys are just as hard to take seriously. In Series 1, the nutters bombing London weren't the fanatical Islamic jihadists who do it in real life, but the far-right bogeymen so beloved by TV liberals. See also Screw and EastEnders. Who will the terror cell be this time? ULEZ protesters? GB News viewers? Whoever they are, they must be loaded considering the drones and kit involved. They turned a whole level of a multi-storey car park into a minefield. And in a Mills and Boon touch, Lana told her ex that she loved him while finding the wire to snip, taking off her safety goggles to do so. Again. Only Mother 2 Sue Radford is more allergic to protection. It's hilarious, but it's bad drama. To misquote Lenny Bruce, art should reflect what is, not what some dozy Guardian reading Burke thinks what should be. Now here's a goof fresh from this week's TV. I was watching A Place in the Sun when Danny Menzies said to a potential buyer called Sandra, "How do you like your electric bike?" Sandra replied, "Ooh, it's great. I love anything with batteries in." Why do we have an honours list when we really need a dishonours one? How come when funeral directors put up their prices, they blame the cost of living? And if fireworks pass their sell-by date, do they go off? Oi, that's your lot. Tune back next time for The Apprentice and yes, another fine guest.